Of course, stocks have been under pressure for the past few weeks, and we've seen these concerns growing that the Federal Reserve will have to act more aggressively to fight inflation. Brian Sozzi, though, says there are 4 other challenges outside of the Fed for markets.
I love me lists, especially when things are really going to hell in a handbasket. So a tidy list here, and you really want to write these down and think about, you want to see when these things start to turn a little bit positive, and perhaps the markets, that would be the signal that the market is starting to improve or stabilize. First up, on challenges, the Fed is your foe, like we've been talking all week long. The Fed is out there raising rates. I would even add this in light of the Wall Street Journal story yesterday. They've lost direction on what they might want to do next. So again, one thing, challenge right there, the Fed is your foe. Number 2, inflation is spreading. It's not just in goods or canned food or even alcohol, like we heard from the likes of Brown-Forman, CEO Lawson Whiting moments ago. It is now spreading to services, and that's something to watch as well. Number 3, and in that context, you have a slow-moving Wall Street. Earnings estimates for the second quarter, we're coming up, earnings season is going to start again very soon. Earnings estimates for most of the S&P 500 have not moved lower despite some warnings, despite inflationary pressures. That's a red flag, could be a disappointing earnings season. Next up, unsold stuff piles up. Target really got that ball rolling. Walmart's dealing with unsold goods. A lot of other companies out there are dealing with excess inventories, going to have to be marked down. And last but not least, paralyzed leaders. And that's 2 things. You look at the Biden administration, not much they can do. They're not going to be handing out stimulus checks in an inflationary environment ahead of the midterm elections. And of course, CEOs. Sure, you could pull a Coinbase and lay off 18% of your workforce, but that is going to impact you culturally, and it is also going to impact you financially as well, longer term. And here's my take, by and large. I'm out there looking for bullish things. I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I'm just not seeing many bullish things out there. And there you are seeing me on my bull.
Yeah. Still on the bull, still riding the bull.
That's my bull, Harry.
I mean, you're still in the rodeo, though. So
those first 2 things, though, the Fed is your foe,
I knew
inflation is spreading, but those 2 things conflict. Mm-hmm. How could the Fed is your foe, but inflation is spreading? I mean, does the Fed have a choice?
I could tie it all in ball. All of it's negative. Inflation is likely to stay high. Look, the Fed could come out tomorrow and raise rates by 75 basis points. That does not wipe off the slate that CPI increased 8.6% last week, and maybe the next report is 9% or higher.
I mean, we do have a lot of folks, a lot of strategists who come on and say, stocks could end up being little changed or even slightly higher this year, and they talk about that corporate America has been pretty resilient in this environment. So maybe Wall Street is correct to not
in the long term,
downgrade their forecast.
We're all dead.
Well, that's cheery. Thanks a lot, Brian Sozzi.